Christopher Norris here from mining.com.au. Joining me today is Astral Resources Managing Director, Marc Ducler. Marc, great to have you on.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having us on, Chris.
Marc, some positive results at Theia today. Give us a little bit of an overview.
Yeah, it was a good result. We did a 6-hole diamond drill program in November of this year. And when we're diamond drilling, at the time we had an RC rig going, so there's a bit of pressure on us trying to just get the core process into the lab. So we got that processed, and first 3 holes came in just last week, so we put them out, and it's actually been a good result. We were targeting 2 things. A was achieving some infill drilling at depth at Theia, and the second target was this high-grade sulfide-rich shear that pretty much runs along the bottom of the pit, and we got good results in both outcomes. We hit that high-grade shear. I mean, we had that 211 gram hit over 0.3 of a meter, a couple of other good results, over 190 grams per ton as well. And the infill result is going to help get those inferred ounces at the bottom of the pit potentially into that indicated category, which is also important for us as we move towards that pre-feasibility study, which will be middle to the end of next year.
Marc, you've had a busy year, including a successful MRE update at your Mandilla project. As you reflect back on 2023, what do you think has been your biggest success?
There was 2 aspects. First was in July, we put out that mineral resource update. We got over the 1.2 million ounce mark for Mandilla. But the key thing about that update was actually increasing the percentage of indicated ounces. When you go to put out a scoping study, there's sort of this expectation that 70% of the potential gold production is actually in that indicated category. So that July mineral resource assessment got us to that number. And then we set upon doing work for the scoping study, which we put out, I think, in September. And that was a real highlight for us because it just draws a line at that project to say this thing can make some serious cash. And those project economics we put out certainly demonstrated that. $740 million worth of free cash flow, a payback of 9 months, an internal rate of return of over 70%, and all-in sustaining costs of around $1,650 an ounce. So a really solid project, which sets us up really well for going into 2024.
And talking on Mandilla, what's next for your project in terms of your development timeline?
I guess there's 2 aspects. We believe we can still continue to grow the project. That mineral resource estimate that we put out in July of this year, we achieved that additional growth at $18 an ounce. Late in 2022, when we put out the mineral resource estimate, we were achieving growth at $16 an ounce. So we've got a track record of cost-effective mineral resource growth, and we certainly believe we can keep that going. So our intention is to continue to grow the resources whilst also advancing the study, and like to put together or be in a position to release a pre-feasibility in the back half of 2024, mind you, demonstrating that it's actually grown and it's bigger and it's more robust as well.
And talk to me a bit about your Camperman prospect. You've hit some high-grade gold here over 2023. Will Astral start pulling more resources into this area soon, or will you continue your staged exploration work while focusing mainly on Mandilla?
Look, I think we will end up focusing more at Feysville. I mean, there's a 55,000 meter drill hole database at Feysville, so there's quite a lot of information there. We're currently seeing what of the supergene targets that we already have there that we potentially have enough information to wrap some wireframes around and demonstrate that they are of a good enough quality to put in a resource, and then see how valuable they are inside the Mandilla scoping study. Because the advantage we have is Feysville's only 50 kilometers away from Mandilla. So any ounces we find at Feysville, we can very cost effectively truck into this future process plant. And also, I am focused on demonstrating our ability to continue to grow the resources cost effectively. And given that Feysville is less mature than Mandilla now, because we've been drilling at Mandilla for 3 years, yeah, we've probably got more chances of continuing to grow cost effectively by focusing at Feysville. And particularly, I mean, Camperman, that was a blind target. So this prospect that we're now focusing on was undercover, blind target. Of the 9 drill holes we put in, or 5 of them came back with fantastic intersections. So a really good hit rate. We've got 3 diamond drill holes that we put into there in November of this year, and those results we would expect to come out sort of last week of Jan, hopefully. And then we've got RC drilling starting there at Camperman probably in early February. So we've got an air core program and then an RC program. And that'll all be at Feysville with the RC targeting the Camperman prospect.
That was Astral Resources Managing Director Marc Ducler. Marc, happy holidays.
Likewise. Cheers. Thanks very much.